Okay, so today, as everybody knows, we're going to talk about spread offense, and mainly we're going to focus on the pass concepts and rules. All right, there's a concept that goes with the spread, which is, what's the spread in 2 words? Spread is an offensive formation where we try to spread the defense horizontally and vertically. How do we do that? We do this by different settings. The spread, basic spread, is an offensive formation with 3 or more receivers. Most of the time what you see now is a gun spread out of a shotgun. Before they used to play it on the center, now since 1927 they played it on the center and they go all the way to the shotgun. Now how do we develop a spread concept? The first concept that you have to understand, since we spread the defense horizontally and vertically, that creates 2 things. The first thing is for the running game, we're creating bigger lanes. The second thing is we stretch the field vertically, that creates bigger seam route for the vertical. Alright? A lot of people, when they think about the spread, they think that it's only to throw deep passes. But this is not really the case. Right? Now the spread comes with some basic rules and basic concepts. The first one, which everybody has to understand, we call it the uncovered receiver concept. Why this concept is really important? Now we're going to draw the base defense against is a 43 college cover 2, which most of the time what you see when a team is playing a spread, you will see that more or less 80% of the defense are going to set up in the cover 2. Alright, let's draw a basic defense against our spread, and you're going to understand. Here we get a 22 spread. You can call it as you wish, okay? There are teams that call it, this is a 22 because we get a 2 slots, 2 receiver on the left, 2 receiver on the right. So we get a 2 and a 2, okay? Everybody has different terminology for the positions and for the formation. So there we're not going to spend much time on this. Now, let's draw a 43. We're going to play our spread. Call it the spread right. We have our running back to the right side. Okay. Let's put this defense, the 43 defense, 43 college. Here we get our nose tackle. Okay, we play with 3 linebackers. Here you're going to see right away who's uncovered and who is not uncovered. So we're going to have linebackers here in the box. So we play against cover 2. Okay, and we're going to have our free safeties and our strong safety. Alright, now you're going to see and you're going to understand something which is really important for you. If you want to use the spread to pass and to run, because this is, when you play the spread, you got to know also how to run. Since you're spreading the field horizontally, you're going to create bigger lanes between the tackles and the ends. Okay? Now you're going to see that O-lines and offensive coach tend to use different splits. You get people using 3-foot splits. You get some other using 4, 5. You get even people using 6. Now why they use that? Because the defensive line assignments, they are always done on the offensive line. So if you stretch that D-line, you're going to have bigger lanes to run. Okay? Now the spread is not only information when you just pass. You got to know how to run out of it. Now, the uncovered receiver principle here comes really handy. Because the rule is, it's really simple. As many people you have in the box, okay, as many people you can have pressing your quarterback. Okay? Is it understandable what I'm saying? Alright, so here we get 2 receivers that are uncovered. Okay? What's the rule for these guys? The rule for these guys is to take a 45-degree angle away from the first defender and from the quarterback. So what they're going to do, they're going to release to the outside. 3 steps should be more than enough. Quarterback will have 1 step throw out of the gun. Once you get 1 step, throws it. Now this goes with the rules. You cannot just throw this to your players and say, okay, let's just run it like this. Okay? It goes with the rules. What are the rules? Every team has different rules. The rules that we use, for example, is we can, with an audible, we can call the uncovered reader on 1st and 10. Okay? And on any running situation that we call, let's say we call a read option right. Okay, and we see that a receiver is uncovered, we're going to throw it to the uncovered receiver. Now, the most important thing is what? Is that if you leave these linebackers in the box, they're going to bring pressure on you. Okay? So, you got to get them what you want when you play the spread. You want to spread those linebackers as well. What you want to create? You want to create a mismatch. You want to have a linebacker covering a slot receiver, for example. Also, by doing this, what's going to happen next play, you're going to see this guy coming here, and probably this guy coming here. Alright? So, what you do then you have bigger lanes to run your ball as well. It's one thing. Second of all, what you could have is have mismatches here that you could use. Okay? And the third thing, you have maybe one guy that can put pressure on you. Okay, of course they can put pressure on this. If this guy's going to blitz, he's uncovered. He's going to stop, yell, whatever audibles you give to him, the quarterback is going to release it there. Understand this?
Yes.
Any questions? No. This is the uncovered receiver. Now, another part of the uncovered receiver concept that a lot of people are playing already now without knowing what they're playing exactly is the bubble screen. Now, the bubble screen, what you see most of the time, you see people throwing a bubble screen. The bubble screen comes from there. You're going to see team running a bubble screen. Say we're going to be at trips. We call here a 13 formation. Okay? The Cowboys guys, we're not playing this, so this is what I'm explaining to you, but we're not playing this, so if you think you're going to scout me, it's lost to red. Alright, now, what you're going to see here is get more room. Okay, we got a trips right. We got a trips right here. Let's set up the same defense. We got a cover 2 deep, and we got a 43 college, we got a nose, deep tackle, and linebacker. Now, when we play cover 2, what you're going to see most of the time, you're going to see that they're going to try to split your receiver. What is that? It means they're going to put a linebacker here, inside shade with this guy. Some people play it heads up, some people play it here in the middle. Let's say that he's going to play inside shade here, okay? So, what you have here is really another way of doing the uncovered receiver, but it is a little bit different than what I drove before, which is the slot is releasing 45 degrees to the outside. Okay? Now here what you're gonna see, he's uncovered. He's uncovered. We got a linebacker here lined up on this guy. This guy is uncovered. But of course we don't want him doing this. What's gonna happen? He's gonna catch the ball at +1, +2. We're gonna tackle him. So this is also what you're gonna have. You're gonna have bubble screen blocks. You're gonna get this guy going here. This is also coming from the uncovered receiver principle, concept. Okay? So, what we play most of the time we call a bubble screen. The base is this. Now, try to run a bubble screen if you got 3 guys. Let's say you got a linebacker here, and they're shifting this linebacker back here. Try to run it. You're not going to run that bubble screen. What you're going to do? You're going to probably put, a coach sees this, what you're going to do? Do we have coaches here that run spread? Okay, what you're going to do is this. You're going to go to your read option. You're going to attack this guy. You get 5 guys in the box. Since this guy is our read guy, we'll always leave him. So what you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers against 1, 2, 3, 4. That's your mismatch. So that's why it's really important for offensive teams that play the spread to know when to use the uncover. Now a lot of coaches are saying when you pass the ball, 3 things can happen and 2 of them are bad. It's true. But if you set up the right rules for your quarterback and you rep these every practice, it takes 5 minutes. We rep it every practice, about 5 minutes. The uncovered receiver principle. You're going to see the timing with the quarterback and the receiver is going to be better. The communication is really important. That if you have an outside linebacker blitzing, a slot is blitzing the quarterback, means the slot is going to be wide open to stop, show your number to the quarterback, yell, whatever you want, you got to do. And these are really basic concepts that everybody has to work on a daily basis at each practice. I would say this is where spread offense should start. Okay, because this develops your running game and your passing game. Any questions to the uncovered receiver? No? Okay. Now let's go to the next.
Actually, I have a question. In
Yes.
your uncovered receiver principle, whose read is it? Is it the quarterback's read or the
It's both.
receiver's
It's
read?
both. It's the receiver and the
And
quarterback.
will they call an audible? Will the quarterback
We call an audible,
ahead
of course.
time if he reads
Of
it?
course, we call an audible. The quarterback will call the audible. The receiver also will call an audible so that everybody knows and hear what's going on. But normally, the receiver is not going to call, but he's going to signal to the quarterback that we're playing, say, a small league here in Hungary. So it means that most of the time what you're going to see is you're going to scout the quarterbacks. What's going to happen is going to come to one read, second, and that's it. So if we have, for example, a linebacker lining up on a slot receiver, and this linebacker start to slide in towards a blitz position, the quarterback's not going to see it. So what I teach my guys is that they have to make sure that the quarterback knows about it. Okay? So everybody's showing blitz, blitz, blitz. It doesn't mean that we're going to throw the uncovered, but it doesn't mean that the quarterback, the receiver is calling you another ball. He's going to say, watch the blitz, quarterback's going to see it, O-line's going to see it, etc., etc. So it's important here, thanks for the question, it's important that the communication between the receivers and the quarterback is set. So if the quarterback doesn't see something, we got to adjust it. Understandable?
Vagy a snapcard ugratom a blitzet. És akkor látom, hogy honnan jön, és akkor egyértelmű.
Ez is egy megoldás. Any other questions? Magic. The next concept is what we see is the vertical. Now, the vertical is something that a lot of people that play the spread like, but most of them, they don't understand what it is about. Now, a vertical is a good team that plays spread. They're going to try to throw the verticals on you by 4 to 6 times in a game. Why they're doing this is to keep the defense honest. Now, this comes with the concept of a spread, where the spread is not built for just long-range passes. Okay? You got to use the short routes, the hitches is part of the spread, etc., etc. So what you're going to try to do is to bring those DBs and those linebackers to play tighter and more honest on your offense. The verticals here, we're going to see what's the principle of the verticals. The verticals is what? In the passing game with the spread, we're trying to stretch, as I said, stretch the field horizontally so it opens bigger lane for those seam routes. Okay? So, what you see is here, let's say we're playing a spread with 4 receivers. Okay? And let's say we play against the defense that play cover 3, we have 3 deeps here. Okay? Let's draw it against the hardest defense to throw against. So, we're going to go against the cover 3. I'm not drawing against the cover 4. Okay? Because cover 4, we're not going to run verticals against them, we're going to run our other routes. Okay? Let's go against the cover 3. Important that your receivers understand their splits also, because sometimes you get these slots 3 yards from this tackle, sometimes 8 yards, and you have here 3 yards, this guy is 12 yards, it doesn't work. You gotta really have normal splits between the tackle, your slot, and your X receiver, right? So, we go on the spread 22 spread right. Okay, we're gonna run it against 40, let's say 44 defense. Okay, let's put a nose, and say here, outside, cover 3. Okay, we got here quick, Mike, and our free safety. Now, the verticals principle is what? As you see, we have 4 receivers, we have a corner on 1/3, free safety on a 1/3, we have another corner on the 1/3. Alright? This is not really hard to see, to understand. Your quarterback has to understand this pretty fast. Your receiver also, what are the different coverages that you can play against. Alright? In this league we have mainly 2 coverages. It's cover 2 zone and cover 3 zone. Most of the people, this is what they play. Alright, so here, let's draw just whatever, like everybody draws the verticals. Everybody's drawing the verticals like this. Okay, here, and we got this. Alright. Pretty simple. This is what you see in everybody's playbook when they're drawing the verticals, right? Now, as you see here, already like this, with no information given whatsoever to your receiver or your quarterback. We're going to have here, okay, we got a corner. If the corner is doing a good job, he's going to squeeze this guy to the sideline and play the sidelines plus defender. He's going to squeeze him in, and this corner is doing a good job. This route is out, okay? Do the same here. So we're remaining two routes. They are attacking a deep third middle free safety, okay? So now you see here, we're already here, we are outnumbering the defense at one point of attack, which is here in the middle. Okay, so here we open at two seams. Okay, this is a pretty simple principle. But normally, what happened in this case, you're going to go through this once, twice, might work. If your quarterback does a good job, what's going to do? The quarterback, what he's doing, he's trying to free this free safety. Now here comes a new thing that you have to teach your quarterback what to do. Okay, the quarterback has to free this free safety. Now, free safety, what he's going to do? He's going to mirror your quarterback's eyes, look where he's looking, okay? Now, if the quarterback is doing a sloppy job, this guy is going to be, a good free safety is going to be, he's going to draw back, he's not going to have any help of any corner. He's going to try to split this distance with them. We're talking about verticals. So as long as the quarterback doesn't make any decision, these guys still going to be in range to play either way, these guys. Okay? Now this is one principle of verticals. It's a quick look at it. Now what happened here in the verticals? The verticals also goes with tags. You need to incorporate in any system that you use, in any concept, in the vertical concept, you need to incorporate tags. This comes as a rule. Now, what we do here, we teach our group of players, receivers and quarterback. First, recognize the defense. Second, understand our plays. And third, we got to play as a team. Now here, what we want to do, we want this guy to be frozen by something, okay? We want to get busy with this guy. For example, what you could do is put that, okay, we got cover 3, we set up a rule. Let's say that we're going to tag one of the slot receiver with an underneath route under the free safety, so we have one of these two slots free to go. Is that understandable? So for example here, we name our receivers. For example here we got our X, our H, here we have our Y, RZ, and here we have our tailback. Alright, so we tag it, we call it 22 spread right, okay, Y post, for example. What you're going to do, you're going to have an underneath route under the free safety, okay, and you're going to have here a route that goes above. Now, here it makes the job easier for your quarterback. Okay, so your quarterback, who does he has to read here? Pretty simple. You gotta read this guy. Okay? It's as simple as this. But once you set up plays, when you have a concept like the vertical, is a great concept, but you have to teach not too many things. First of all, what we're doing. Second of all, understand and recognize the defense, which you really capital here that your quarterback and your receiver understand is in cover 3, which I don't think is really hard to teach. And another thing, you have to put rules as a coach that they can take advantage of. So a simple rule is a tag. So here we tag it with a Y post. We're going to have an underneath route under the free safety and one that goes a little above it. Simple. Any question? Here we still didn't use the tailbacks. Tailbacks stay in protection, okay?
So you call the tag, right?
I call, well, if I see that I scout the team that they play cover 3, I'm going to call the tag all the time. But normally when you play a spread, what you want to do is the long...
They are for, few...
No, yes, we have, for example, in the covers we have few tags. We have few audibles that makes that they know that who's going to go post, who's going to go dunk, who's going to go drag, etc., etc. But what you want to do is the long-term goal for a spread offense is to go no-huddle offense. That's what you want. So you have to prepare all these things ahead. By now, what we do, I'm just putting the rules down. Slowly, maybe in 2 years, we'll have a complete concepts and rules that everybody understands, so we can go no huddle. So here I tag it, but my quarterback knows these already, these audibles. If I don't call a tag, he's going to use the audibles. We have some audibles to interchange route into really simple routes. They are not composed route, they're simple route. Post, drag, dump, spot, arrow, you name it. There are only 5. Okay, in and out, of course. Is it understandable? Now, comes another rule out of the vertical. So here we get the first one that, okay, we understood the coverage. We try to set up this free safety. You want to work on the free safety. Another thing is, since we know that we're going to go verticals, and we get corners playing deep, what you want to do, you don't want to kill these 2 routes because it's stupid to have this guy going vertical when you know he's not going to beat his man, he's not going to beat his man. There's another rule to the verticals, which is, the tag is an optional rule, but I just explained now, okay? There's another rule when you run verticals, which is, if you play against cover 3, okay, there's basic rules when you're an offense coach. Take what the defense gives you, right? Here they gives you, what does this guy give you? Give you 6 to 0, 6 to 8 yards. What you do, if you want to run a vertical and this guy is outside shade of you, we interchange our route to a hitch route, to curl in. Okay? So what we do here, this is a rule. Now we talk about rules. So, cover 3, what's going to happen? I'm not going to go there. I'm going to come 6 to 8 yard, curl in. Okay? What this guy's going to do is the same. Come. Now, what does this gives you quarterback? What you have to know is, most of the coaches are how would I say? Some are saying that in the spread you get more, when you play spread you get more pressures from the defense. Okay? So others said, well, true and not true, if you build your plays to always have an answer for your quarterback to release the ball fast. Now this gives you that. You feel pressure, he's going to dump it. So these are really short routes. Okay, so this is a rule, and when you call it vertical, and you have to teach your receiver as well, that if we call it vertical, and the defense comes in the cover 3, you run a hitch route. Okay, it is not a really complicated route to complete. Okay, hard to get intercepted. All you can happen is an incomplete. Okay? But at least you have 2 more options here. So here you see, out of these plays, which started like 4 verticals, everybody go up. And less. There, you build up a play with basic rules, really basic stuff, that is really not hard to explain to your receiver. It's just to take advantage of what the defense gives you. But you have to put it in a chapter. Verticals. Okay, this is the verticals, start like this. If you play cover 3, you gotta do curl route, okay, and that's it. Simple as that. And what we try to do is to attack one guy, here in this instance, the free safety, with 2 men. And this is what we're doing here. So the quarterback has his first read here. Feels pressure, go down. Understandable? Questions?
So this is an automatic.
This is an automatic reaction to the defense. Okay, so you call verticals, and this is what happened, this is what we do. Of course, when we talk about rules here, it's really, you have to be precise of when and how, on which situation you can change. Because the rule says, if you're in 3rd and 28, you can call verticals, but if this is the rule, you're going to be in trouble. So you got to prepare yourself to those situations. Now the vertical, basically, we try to make it easier for the receiver, for the offense. Now a vertical is not a play for 3rd and 6 and 28. You got to have plays built up for that. If this is because this is the core of your spread. Okay, we got the uncovered receiver, the verticals, and the 2 other concepts that I'm going to explain. Those are core things in the screens. We will talk about the screens next time. These is core thing. Now, if you threw this to your receivers, okay, and you give them the rules and the basic concept, you explain them that, and on 3rd and 28 you want to throw a vertical, you still can, because you still have these two guys going deep, okay? But if your quarterback field pressure, knee release is there, that's it. You're probably going to be in 4th and 12. So you got to be ready for that. So you got to know the advantage of having a package, a concept with rules. It means that your players are going to know those rules and going to know what they're doing at every time. The goal of the spread is to have these rules and that your offense always have answers to any defense. Okay, it has to be fast rolling offense because the goal of it is to go no huddle no matter what. Okay, understandable? Any questions? Vigyi bácsi.
Ez hogy akar működni? Tehát hogy akar majd működni, mert csak megtanítod mondjuk a receivereknek, az irányítóknak, hogy tudja olvasni a defense, meg ezeket a szabályokat, igaz?
Igen.
És ugye nekik kéne a pályán áthívni az alapján, vagy ezt mint edző is akár be tudod küldeni, vagy ahhoz az lassú. Tehát érted a kérdést?
Értem.
Tudod-e kontrollálni edzőként, vagy az lassú ahhoz?
No, this is what you do. What I tend to do is when I scout, I see you spend some time watching the defense coverage. Most of the time here, the defense, they're the same. Some teams, okay, in the backfield you don't see much difference. Lower underneath you see many difference. You see D tackles one time on take 3, take 2, everywhere. So there, if you spend a lot of time on that, your scouting report is going to be 20 pages. So we tend to watch the coverages. Now we know that, for example, some teams, this is what they do. You have a corner here and a free safety here. That is still, okay, this is still a cover 3 look, what you have. But you get these guys playing one quarter, and these guys playing in half. But still, this you can explain this to your players, and you know that already, if you draw them there, you know that they know that this vertical is what's going to happen. This is good. Here we got a guy deep, wide open. We got here another guy. So you can prepare them to that, prepare to the audibles that they can get. But basically, they can stick to the rules and to make it. If there's something that you see that doesn't fit this, then you don't call it. Simple as that. Any other questions? Make it a dish.
Meg kell ellenőrizni egy cover 1 vagy cover 3.
Cover 1, cover 3. Na, akkor lérajzoljuk.
Cover 1, akkor emberfogás, és akkor nem tudja.
Okay, let's go to cover 1, for example. Now, a lot of people in Hungary and in the league that just started, I remember when I started playing football, everybody was playing man coverage. Everybody. In Belgium, oh my goodness, you're fast, play corner. If you're new, you play corner also. If you're 80 kilos or 100, you go corner. Anyway, we never threw the ball. In Belgium, we never threw the ball, so we just ran the ball. Whatever you go corner receiver, because then we don't need to coach those guys, because we don't throw. So, everybody was playing man coverage. So we got here man coverage. Got here, let's say, put out Will. Okay, here we put out Sam. Put a corner here. Okay, here we're going to put out Quick, Mike, and our free safety. Now, we're in verticals. So, basically, what is it? Take what the defense gives you. Take what the defense gives you. Here also, you're in man coverage. Take what they give you. Take what they give you. Now, I love when I play my spread, having guys playing man to man. I love it. Why? Because there's no way out of my 4 receiver I'm going to have a mismatch. No way. If that's the case, what I do, I'll start using motions. I'll start interchange players. So this is what you want to do when you play spread. And it's going to provoke that you're going to have mismatch somewhere. It's impossible that you don't have mismatch. Impossible. One thing. So here the rule is what? He's tight. So your outside release is perfect. You have a perfect lane. Okay, so the quarterback here. When you have cover 1 against a flat route, unless you have amazing corner, it works. So these guys still alive in the play. Right now you have these guys playing man-to-man with this guy, and you have this guy playing man to this guy. So that's going to introduce my third concept. I'm going to explain. we play here verticals. So when you set up the spread, you need to set up these 4 basics concept. What we do is, here we're going to have the introduction to the third concept, which is called the mesh concept. Okay? So here you can run the verticals. It's still the same thing. You're still going to have 2 guys here in the middle, and the mismatch you're going to get it somewhere. Okay? But what we do is that we're not going to attack this defense at this point. We're going to attack them where it hurts the most. It's with the mesh. What is the mesh? This is the third concept that I want to explain to you. Now, we are playing spread offense, and I showed you the uncover against cover 2, the verticals against cover 3. Now, let's say a team comes and want to play cover 1. Once you're an offensive coordinator or an offensive coach, or a quarterback, or a receiver, but you have to know one thing. If you play spread, and the defense is showing you cover 1, you gotta expect some heat somewhere. Of course, understandable. So probably you're going to have some blitzing somewhere. Okay? There is no use to playing man coverage against the spread if you're not going to put pressure on the quarterback. Make sure that he's going to release fast. Alright? And there comes the mesh concept. Now, always playing with good splits. Here we got corner. You got here Will, and here Sam, corner, and nose, tackle, and quick Mike. Alright, what is the mesh? A lot of people, they call it mesh or rub concept. The mesh concept is a concept where we have somebody crossing route with another one. That creates a mesh, or a concept. Like when you play the read option, when you have the exchange with the quarterback and the right, that's also called a mesh because they're crossing each other, right? So the mesh is that. What we do is crossing 2 routes at a certain point. The mesh concept is to attack the coverage underneath. We don't attack above, we attack underneath. So what we're going to attack is this. Okay? Now you're going to see at a certain point you can have different kind of mesh, okay? And I'm going to show you here, this is really important, you have to involve your tailback also in this. If you involve him, you're going to understand why you have to involve him. If you're going to involve him and you have pressure, you have a quick release somewhere. Okay, don't forget that your quarterback is in a gun. So he already has separation with the line of scrimmage, and he has a little bit more time to make the reads and to release the ball, right? So what we're going to do here, we're going to have, we start with the mesh. After that, we'll go to the rest of the play, all right? What we're going to have here, we're going to have inner routes, another inner route crossing in the middle, okay? And what we're going to have too, an arrow, okay? What you see here, a lot of people think the mesh here is only at one point. We got a mesh here, we also have a mesh here. Right? You understand this because if you play it out of trips, this is exactly what you're going to have, but more upfield. Now what you have here, once they are in man coverage, okay? Let's assume that nobody's blitzing and you have a great O-line, okay? Nobody's blitzing. What you're going to have here, you're going to have man coverage, man. You're going to have this guy traveling all the way back there, okay? Going across this guy and going across this guy. Sorry, this guy's drilling out because this guy's going to shift out, okay? So you're going to see here, there's going to be mess in the middle there. So they're going to, we're crossing 2 routes, and we're crossing actually 1, 2, 3, 4 guys at a certain area, which is our mesh area, is right here. Okay, this is our first cross. Another thing what we do is we have it here as well. Why do we do this? This is a security throw. If we feel any pressure, he can release it fast. Okay? Now, the goal of the mesh is this, is to cross 2 routes when you're in a man coverage so that it creates, so this is what we call the rub here in the middle. So you're going to have defenders that have to cover the man all over the field with other defender running, because here we create a cross, here also we create a cross between the Mike and the Sam. Understand what I'm saying? Here we're going to create another cross with the Quick and the Will. Okay, so the mesh is a concept for you as an offensive player, but in the defense, you're doing the same. You're provoking the same thing to them. They have to cross each other. And once you know the defensive player that has to cross one another, they're going to lose time. It's traffic. He doesn't see what's going on there. He doesn't see how Mike and Quick are reacting. True or not true? This Sam was going to do. He's going to cover this guy, go inside. He's not going to see this guy playing man-to-man with this guy. So he's going to be on his butt all the play. Of course, you can have defense that are switching man if they're crossing. That takes more practice for them and more communication. But let's assume that we're playing man-to-man here, and they just keep on with their man to lead to the whistle. So what's going to happen here, you're going to have such a big mass here that there's no way on earth this guy is going to be here at the end of the ride. Now, a lot of teams, and I've seen this play in high school, we played it also, in college teams are playing it, and what you see, everybody thinks that, oh, this is where I have to throw, right here. This is really dangerous because it's overcrowded, 1. 2, the receiver, what you teach your receiver when they cross a zone from one man to another, when they cross 2 defenders, they slow them down, right? You got to slow down to be able to show your number quarterback to be ready to get the ball. Here you don't want to slow down, you want to do this as fast as possible because your throwing lanes are not here, they're here in this void. Defense is going to give you. Now, we're getting outside of the mesh zone, okay? Now, what we have here, we have 2 corners set up there. What we do is, there you have to build in another type of route, which we call a zone breaker route. Now, who's playing zone in here? In this defense? The free safety is playing zone. Now, what we have 1, 2 guys to break the safety zone. What we want to do is to throw away from him, and knowing this, that we here in a man coverage, in a main coverage. So we got to get some routes in which our receivers are going to be able to beat this guy, to be in open field, and we got to attack this guy. So what we do is, he's giving us the outside release, we're going to go and we're going to throw a corner route. Sorry, the board is not big enough, the sideline is not here, should be literally. Okay? So we're going to get this guy going on a corner route. Another thing what we do is, we're getting this guy releasing up and going in a deep route. Now we got here, we created another problem for the defense, which is what? We're also attacking the free safety. So here, these corners are not going to have any help on any route, okay, if the quarterback is doing a good job. Now, let's get back to this situation here. Now here, why are we saying, okay, we saw cover 1 against a spread. So as a coach, I'm already, oh my shit, holy shit, we're going to get the sack. But if you teach your quarterback, knowing that now you know what do you know so far about the spread? You uncovered, the verticals, and now we get the mesh, alright? Let's say we get a blitz here. Get heat. What this guy's going to do is the uncovered receiver, right? Okay, this guy is blitzing. This guy is blitzing. Okay, the tailback here is not going to say, I'm uncovered. No, he's going to run his route. He's going to be wide open there. Alright? Now we get, not Mike blitzing, we get this guy blitzing. No, watch this. You can release here. If this guy gets fast, he's going to release it right here. But normally, if he releases, what you're going to have? You're going to have here a way bigger zone to through the mesh. Okay? So here, you get a pre-snap read that your quarterback has to know. I don't know if we have enough time, but normally when you call a play, you get a pre-snap read and you get after-snap read. Now, in a pre-snap, it's easier for the offense, for the quarterback, for the receiver to react. But after the snap, most of the time what you're going to have, it happens to us many times, the quarterback didn't see shit. Where he threw it over here, or he threw it over there, or if you would right here in the middle, but not here, here. So this takes practice. So you gotta get these guys to practice it every time in practice. Normally when inside linebacker is blitzing against a mesh, they're dead. If the quarterback can make that read fast, he's gonna see this, because here you have a huge window. Quick goes. Now let's say Mike goes, we're gonna release here, okay? Or here. Also a big window. Alright? Now this guy goes, is gonna create this. This guy's Mike is following your tailback. Alright, check the window that you're gonna have from here to here. You're gonna have a huge window. So if this you can explain to your guys and explain them, I know it's hard because in football, every time there's if, but if you can erase all the if and give them the rules. Don't say if. The rule is, if you got blitz from quick, and they're in, first of all, pre-snap, pre-cover one, okay, what to do when we got, not if quick blitz, when quick blitz, you release your halfback. What you do when Sam blitzes, uncovered receiver principle, etc., etc. And if you build up those principles, those concepts, one by one, you're going to see that your offense is going to have answers almost for 3 coverage already. 3 different coverage that gets your quarterback in each situation that he knows that, okay, cover 3 I'm going to attack this way, cover 2 I'm going to attack that way, etc., etc. You have to build audibles to that, but for now, if you just give them those concepts, you have easier time calling it from the sideline. Alright? Simple. Questions for this? Alright, now I'm going to draw the same mesh concept from trips. There you're going to see how easy it is, and we're playing a man coverage. You're going to see where you're going to have. I'm going to go to trips right. Alright. So we have here, let's say, backer, corner, free safety off, corner we have here the end, tackle, nose, and here we have the back. Alright? So this is the defense. Now, you want to run the mesh. Okay, where is this mesh going to occur? From this guy and these guys, alright? One of these guys.
Hizalmatnak, hogy valakit tegyél fel a defense-ba.
Így szeretnék.
Bocs. Here. Alright? So, we're here. So what you want here is we're in trips right, and we're going to run the same play, a mesh, cover 1. So what you're going to have? We're going to have a cross route. Okay? Here you can have him doing a cross route, him or him. But what you want to create is as more crossing as possible, alright? So what you're going to do is, here you're going to have another cross route. You're going to create this. You're going to create this. Alright, here we cheat with this guy. We call it cheat in. We try to cheat him about 2 yards towards the box, alright? So we're going to put him here. Okay? Now, what you create here is already 2 cross. We got a cross here and a cross here. So we have already 2 basic cross. Now we got this guy also that can go on a cross. But here what we tend to do, since we have a free linebacker on the outside, this is what we do. We ship this guy here. Okay, why? Because you got a free guy here, and this is what you want to do. You don't want him to get a free hit at your quarterback or to be blitzing right away. So you're going to have this guy here doing another cross. Alright, so here you get already 1 cross, 2, 3. This is really mess up a defense. What did you lose here? You lost the zone breaker on the free safety. True? We did. So here, still have our corner route. That's it. This, you created this. This is a mesh play, but you can call it totally another. You have to give him another name. Why? Somebody can tell me why. On the first concept that we wrote is a mesh. Was a mesh out of spread. We explained it. What did we do? We did 2 cross routes with a 2 slot receiver with the halfback, okay, and we had 2 zone breakers that you need to have, because you cannot have a zone breaker on the free safety with one man. You're not breaking any zone here. So here, you developed and you play out of this concept in another formation. Understandable? Any questions? Mindenki játszik baszki. Túl meleg van itt, hallod? Kérdés? So, what I just wanted to show you here with the mesh is this, that we're the third concept already. Here, you explained the first concept, which was the mesh out of the spread, alright? And you can incorporate, it's the same play, out of another definition, and the same principles. So, here your team are going to understand it's a mesh play, but it's another concept. Why? It's not another concept, sorry, it's another play. Why? Because in the mesh we had 2 cross route and 2 zone breakers, 2 players doing a zone break. Here we have only 1. So this is not really a mesh anymore. True or not true? True. It's not a mesh anymore because we don't have 2 zone breaker on the free safety. So don't make mistakes when you give a concept to your players that here's the mesh, but this is also a mesh. This is not a mesh anymore. Because the rule in the mesh, we have 2 zone breaker, 2 cross routes. Okay? Any question for the mesh?
What is the quarterback reading?
Here, the quarterback is reading the same thing. He's reading the crosses here, the cross route. So he has pre-snap read first of all. What we want when we threw the ball, what we want the longest yard as possible, alright? First of all. Second of all, what we read, what do we attack as coach? We attack the weakest guy there, okay? So, but in this situation, if we're playing this way, what he's going to attack, he's going to attack this guy. Why is he going to attack this guy? If this guy follows, we're going to have him here on an arrow. Okay? Now, let's say that.
Nem könnyű olvasás, hogy irányítunk 3 különféle oldalt,
Nem annyira könnyű. This is not easy as a read. Now we have to know also the situation. What you see a lot of team for you. You guys play this in the red zone, this play, this part. The Sharks also play this. This is a rub. What you do is, you know where, what I tend to do is I ask them to attack one specific guy. Here, when you have three guys playing man-to-man here, I'm going to attack either way this cross, the quickest cross, because here we're in a man coverage, so we can have pressure here or here fast. Okay? So I'm going to ask my quarterback to look for the really, really quick releases. So here, I'm going to ask him to read this guy since he's playing on a man-to-man with this, and we're going to have the outside linebacker trying to take this arrow. Okay? Here we create this is the fastest route he can read. Is it understandable or not really?
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just thinking about that. You want to give easy reads to the quarterback.
Yes.
But, you are in a situation, you call a play, and
yes.
maybe it's not a coverable man, but I don't know if they change to a cover 2.
If they change to a cover 2...
So the quarterback is still reading the quarterback, then...
Yes. Okay, now, so if they change during the snap, they go after snap, they go to a cover 2.
That's like a
So if they go after snap to a cover 2, we're going to have, here he can go to a cover 2 if this guy stays on his outside. Normally with cover 1, this guy's going to be here. Anyway, but what we said, we're going to read this guy, right? Ask him to read this guy. So this guy, this linebacker, we know it's man coverage, okay? He's going to read this linebacker. No, this linebacker, we're creating a route here. Attacking. So if this guy take his first step up, we're going to release here. Now, we said that they drop in a cover 2 after snap, which my quarterback cannot see that right away pre-snap, right? So let's assume that since we're cheating this guy, this corner stayed here. Alright? We still have the linebacker here. Okay. Now let's work on this, right? Since my quarterback actually he saw cover 1 pre-snap. And I told him that this read, I want him to read this linebacker. Okay? Because here we get the fastest rub. And here the play will develop faster. Here there are many cross rides. It's going to be jammed here, and afterwards it's going to be maybe jammed here. So what we're going to do is they shift to a cover 2. That creates a problem because what's going to happen? Corner is going to come here, control the flat. We're going to have this linebacker in the hook. Linebacker, eyes on, what pre-snap is probably looking at. Here he's not looking at this guy, he's reading the tackle. Okay, it's reading pass or run. Alright, here is the first sign for the quarterback. The quarterback doesn't read that, that's the first sign for the quarterback. But of course, here most of the time, he's not going to read it. And we know it. So I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to happen. So what's going to happen in here is the quarterback is reading this guy. Oh shit. We here with the rub. Okay, this guy, release up. Okay, chip the guy, release into the zone, and get back to his zone. And we get this guy settling in, controlling the flat. And we got this route. Now, this guy is off, so the read is still there. He's going to release here. So, whatever happens, okay, probably our play is going to take 10 yards, maybe take 2 or 3 yards, but at least if we complete it. Let's put it in this way, if we complete it. Alright? So here the read is still okay, but I understand your questions. I try to give my quarterback the easiest thing to do. Even like this, he fucks up. You guys saw the video. But you can keep on practicing and doing the same. But if you reduce his numbers of read, because what you see most of them quarterbacks reading all the field. You cannot read all the field. You got to lock on one, you have a pre-snap read, you got to understand what we ask you to do, and execute it. If they don't understand, you have this most of the time when the quarterback doesn't really understand what he's doing. He's going to start reading thousands of people, even on the stands he's going to look for somebody. But if you give him the read, the pre-snap read, he has to lock on it. Okay, they fucked this up. We know that they shape the coverage, and we know next play we're going to be more careful. Question?
Ha hátralép cover 2-ben valakit van egy covered embered, vagy zóla, akkor azt nézed, ahol egy ember vesz föl 2 embert automatikusan, tehát az irányítónak a második olvasása, ahogy meglátja a zónát, az lesz. De alapvetően, amikor egy ilyet használsz, egy ilyen spread offense, akkor hívsz ellenőrző mozgásokat, tehát
de erre nem volt, igen, erre nem használtuk meg, ez egy statikus percben, de használjuk a motion, de most egyelőre erre beszél a koncepció. So, here, it's true that you have to use the motions to see what the defense is playing, but here let's say we stay static, and let's not get it too complicated. We keep it this way. Now it's true, but I want to correct you with one thing. If this quarterback drops off, he's not uncovered. He's not uncovered. Okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Értem, csak cover 2 van, akkor azért hátra kell lépni,
persze. Állítólag igen, ha cover 2, ha cover 2 van, ő lesz a következő free safety állítólag, innen kezdődik, vagy innen jön még valaki. De itt, normális defense, if you play against normal defense, we play too, that when we see spread, for example, we shift our linebacker, our rover linebacker, and we shift our free safety here. So that's, we give a cover 1 look or press, and we go to 2. Okay? So anyway, but here, if that's the case, you're going to have, the quarterback's not necessarily going to release it here fast if he doesn't have pressure. Okay, he's going to read a little bit, but actually this is the guy he's reading in this formation. That's what we want. Make kérdés. I know you have more questions.
Okay, I was just interested in that, what easy reads you give them. I like mesh concept a lot, but I think it's really hard.
It's hard concept, it's hard.
Do you have a progression here for a quarterback? You teach a progression?
Yes, yes. The thing is that the mesh doesn't work in Hungary. It's hard time to work. My mesh works when? Only when my quarterback releases in the void. Only when. Since my quarterback, I call him happy trigger. Means that as soon as he sees something, he runs or through it, whatever. But if he stays quiet and nice work in the pocket, he releases here. So his progressions most of the time when we play out of this, we have a big ass tight end. We play with a big tight end. We like having our tight end in the slot. That's his progression read. He always, this is what we want to read is the tight end progression. The tight end creates more or less more. He's taller, bigger, he's a bigger target for him. So most of the time this is where he starts his read. Okay, but we want him, and this is what he does all the time. Even though the read is here, he's going there. Well, we're playing out of trips. We don't play this out of trips. We play it out of spread. We also play it out of pro. Out of pro works way better. For most it works way better. And the progression is the tight end. Because he's way closer, and what you have to understand is with the mesh, you really have to attack the inside zone as fast as you can. So that creates that if you have a receiver doing what we call the hunt, that when he comes in the zone, he slows down, it's not going to work. Here there is no slowing down in the middle. You really got to go fast because this is what you want. This is what we run. Okay, and mainly if this is what you have here, you have one linebacker sitting in the middle, you're not going to throw here. You're not going to throw here. So what you want to see is to drop these two void zones there. But it's true, the problem of the mesh in Hungary is that a lot of referees don't understand what's a chip and what is a holding and what is an illegal use of helmet. They have no clue whatsoever. So what you see, for example, I have problems, and I have this at every game, that, of course, my receiver are not the best either, but I see most of the time on a cross corner, I see one receiver on his ass, the other one battling with a linebacker. It's hard. It's really, really hard. So this is a good play, but you need guys that can avoid a chip, and this you need to teach. It takes a long time to teach.
Ilyen drilleket próbáló lesz elkezdeni megtanítani nekik, hogy olvassák ki otthon az irányítók ezeket. Mert én nagyon azt látom, hogy azt se látják a tökéletesen, hogy viszi. Általában a legtöbb csapatban az, hogy na, 13-as nem dobom. Tehát elindul, elindítja, hogy a dobja, és eldobja oda.
Tehát van sorrend a...
Már annak örülünk, hogyha egy ember tud olvasni a defense-ben, nem hogy komplexen az egész dolog.
No, as I mean, what we do is we have one read. The guy has one guy to read, and this is what I want him to do. To execute on one guy and make decision on pre-snap. It sounds stupid, but our level is more than enough. Take the snap, you read him on pre-snap, this is the guy you attack. Throw the goddamn ball. Don't start to think and overthink. And the thing is that I don't want to get to, if not him, it's overcoaching. And here the problem is you overcoach a guy, he's gonna go sleep and say, damn, yeah, tomorrow I'll read him, and if not, I go to the free safety. It's really, really complicated. And it's true, the only thing that you can start teaching is the progression. It's what's the right progression, who's the guy that's gonna try to see his right progression that we do, but mainly we ask him to read one guy and attack one guy. If not, lesz húsja.
Szélső lányeket szoktak olvasni, és mindig a corner embere indul először. Ő fölhúzza, és direkt úgy futja, hogy a linebacker belső vállal, mint az őt követő corner, aki ráfigyel az emberfogás miatt föltartsa a linebacker. És a szélső linebackert olvassa az irányító, így általában a szélső szokott az elsődleges passz lenni, ami a széle felé megy.
Tudod csak, hogy erre csináltok külön valami drill, nekem ez a kérdésem, vagy fölálltok egy passz.
Nem. Erre egyébként, when we run the mesh, when we do it, first of all, we set cones. We set cones if it's a 4-3, 3-4, etc. And where sometimes we do 2 cones for the inside so they know where they have to cross. It's really important. What you have most of the time is that you have a tight end going, trying to be as fast as he can. That's why I said, for me, it works better out of a pro. But you have speed difference also. So we put 2 cones, we tell him to attack right in the middle. And we put the end of the route, the 2 voids. So that's how we start. After that, what we do, you can put 2 guys with a shield, try to chip them, etc. So after you go to one linebacker in the middle, these guys have to cross. You will see there starts the problem. You're going to have guys crossing under him, you're going to have route yard 2 yards. Nonsense. Okay? But if you pay attention, this guy's going to go down, this guy's going to be above. So here also, when we split out spread, we want them to read these middle linebackers most of the time what they do. And from there on, they will know which route is going to be fine. Where he has to go, right or left. Okay, but what we want out of the mesh, we want to have these voids. So, and this is what we do. Two inside linebacker, 2 middle linebacker, 1 middle linebacker, and that's it. If we're in the spread, in the 22 spread. If we're in the trips, then we attack one guy, we want to attack one guy. We want to attack this guy. If we have these trips, we don't want to throw it here. This takes too much time. If you have normal linebackers, they're going to chip really close. Okay? And what you want to teach your slot receiver is to cheat toward the line of scrimmage, right? So this is what you want to do. So they're going to get chipped and this is going to take time to develop. So probably the first threat you're going to have is this guy open on this side. Okay? And this. So here, to avoid any complication, you tell them to read this outside. So, another thing is in the spread, what you also notice most of the time when you play the spread, you're going to have, if you see something you don't want, you start to use motions. If you see coverage that you don't want, or you have a receiver that cannot beat the press, you can also change his position. So for example, what you see, I have the case, and what we have the case, we're not using it yet, but what you can do also, you see this receiver, let's say he cannot beat a press, but he's fast and he has good hands. But he's not really creative, and he doesn't have the right technique on the line of scrimmage to beat the press. What you do, you bring one guy up and you bring him off. It gives him more room to use his speed, etc. So you could also use these tricks to get what you want from the defense. Okay, another thing is the motions. Alright? So this is the mesh. Any more questions about this? T-space, mouse, chronometric smash. Okay. So now we saw that against the cover one what we want to do. Okay. We get another defense to beat. Which happy that Coach Lee is not here because he's going to say that we cannot beat any defense. But now let's go to the fourth concept that we use. There are many concepts in the spread. There's another concept called the smash concept. What's the smash? The smash is about the same as, you remember when we talked about the verticals. We attacked one zone with two deep routes. One deep zone with 2 deep routes. The smash is built on that as well. There, the smash route is really, really effective against a cover 2 zone. What is it? We say that, I mean, the guys that created, I don't know who created that, but it's a really smart play. And I have to admit, out of all the passing plays in the concept that we use, this is the one that works the best. It's that to attack one guy, one defensive player, for instance here the corner, we attack him with the underneath route and a right above him. So let's draw here, this is best played against cover 2 zone. Okay? Let's go to a 22. To a 22. Spread right. You get a corner. You got here a Will. You got here a Sam. You got here a corner. You got here a Mike. And we got here a Strong and a Free. Okay? You get a 43. If you want to play against a 50, we can do 3-4-4 defense. Doesn't make any difference here. Okay, so what we want to do here is attack one guy with 2 routes. So let's go, we're going to work on this corner now, okay? So we have a cover 2, and the smash route, what does it say? It says, we're going to attack, here we want to attack this corner, or you can attack that corner with 2 routes on his zone and to make him commit to one. What you're going to do, defense most of the time and the defensive player react to what they see. Alright, the first thing he's going to see, he's going to react to that. So here, we're going to go and run a hitch under him. Alright, corner is doing a good job, release, up, come back and play the hitch. Now, on the other hand, we have the slot running the corner route, right above the corner zone. Now the corner has to make a decision. Of course, free safety can help. But see, free safety here, by his position on the hash marks, he's not going to be able to help really. We're going to have here a quick throwing lane on the outside shoulder of your slot receiver. And this we played it against cover 2, we played it against cover 3. It always, and here, how would I say, amazingly, my quarterback always makes a good read. When he reads, base counter. And he does it all the time perfectly. This guy goes up, release it to the hitch. This guy stays tight, release it to the corner route. Now, what's the advantage of this? As you know, every defense have void zones. Alright? They have short void, they have long void. What's the void? The void zone is a zone that the defense has hard, it's a sub-zone. It's a zone where the defense has a hard time defending. For here, for instance, we have a corner, we have the hook, we have the middle, hook, we have flats. Alright, here we have 2 deep, half deep, okay? So here, if you draw, you see these lanes, this is the lane that they're gonna do after snap. Read pass, everybody's gonna drop into their zone, they're gonna start read from their position, he's gonna read 1, 2, they're the same, so they're gonna drop there. So here you're gonna see with this smash out with this corner, this guy has a perfect body placement, and it's attacking here. We have a void in the cover 2, which is the zone above the corner zone and between the corner and the free safety. This is the zone this is the void of the cover 2. This is what we attack. Okay? Is this understandable? Now, we attacked here, we have a smash, we have a spread right, 22, spread right, smash left. Now what do we do with the other side? You remember when we talked about the mesh? We had 2 zone breaker. Here we're going to have the same. In case this guy does a great job and fast and he comes here to scout us, the guy really reacted perfectly to this. You need to be prepared for that. So here we have another free safety playing deep. We have 2 deep. So what you're going to do with the 2 others? Zone breaker. You need that. So what we teach here, we have one tag that we use really often against cover 2. It's a post. We want to have this guy release and attacking the zone between the 2 free safety. Alright? What we say, defense player also always react to what they see. So this is what he's going to read first. He's going to come here. Alright? Now, what do we do with this guy? You can make him do a dig, you can make him do a vertical, you can make him do what is easier for us, what I like better, is a 12-yard hitch. Curve. And that's it. Really simple things. Now, don't get me wrong here. We call the smash. So it's 22 spread right, smash left. So this is our read man. Now, next thing, if, which we don't like because after the first if, it's over in Hungary. The quarterback cannot do another if. If this doesn't work, he has to go to read this man. But here we get 1, 2, playing deep zones. Attacking this zone breaker here. Understandable? So that's about it, about these small concepts. Here, you see, you need the rules in every concept to keep your offense, your quarterback, and your receiver not trying to guess what they have to do. If you give them the rule and you stick to them, it's going to be way easier for them to achieve what you want them to do at a certain play. Okay? Any other questions? Any questions?
Miért fut a szélén? Miért nem fut egy hosszú?
That's up to you to do your rule how you want it. Anyway, this is a zone breaker, so for you it's a free play. You can have him. You can have this guy doing a dig if you want. You can have this guy going on a fly. It's up to you.
Azt elsőre, miért szereted őt azt mondtad, hogy őt azt
Oh, I prefer this because for me it's easy. My quarterback can. I tell you one thing. I'm trying to limit my quarterback in his long throws. Because, for example, with my team, I tell you, we can be 5 receivers, or let's say 4 in trips. We have, out of the 4 receivers, we have 3 short routes and 1 long. We're going through there. And even though he has to go to the trip side, he's going through the flat. So, and actually most of the time is that the quarterbacks always want to, I don't know why, but the quarterbacks that I have, they always want to throw deep. I didn't have much quarterback. I had Mihalis Kivalint, you know him, and now I have Vali Tomi, which also he's a good guy, a good athlete, but also has this problem of wanting to go deep. So by this, I limit his options. That's it. And it's easier because the guy is going to show his number, is going to be hey. Cannot not miss that. You cannot miss that. Any questions?